Evening, people. Evening. Welcome back to the channel. Have we got sound? Yes, we have. Good. Right. Welcome back. So tonight we're back with the P1 race community. It is the finals of their multi-class league, which has been running over the last 7 or 8 weeks. 8 weeks, including this one. So what have we got tonight? We're at Le Mans for the finals. We've got 10-minute qualifying, followed by a full 50-minute race. No 2 races for you guys tonight. It's a full sprint all the way around here. Softs and mediums must be used. Weather, sunny, turning to heavy rain. It is actually tipping it down on track at the minute, just before qualifying. I don't know what that's going to do during qualifying, but we'll wait and see. So, let's have a look at points. We look at the pros. Obi-Wan has got himself 101, 101, can't even talk. Are they the wrong way around? You've got those the wrong way around. Hold on, right, so, Apache, that should say pros at the top, not pro-ams, that should say pros, alright? That's the wrong way around. So the pros who are racing in the GT3s, or the bigger, faster variants of these cars. Apache's pretty much won the championship, 113 points on the board, 85 points second place for Tyre Slayer, Raffo third with 61 points, Pilgrim in fourth with 56 points, Ricky J fifth with 38 points, we've got Dodger in sixth with 23 points, and Skippy in seventh with 10 points. So that is pros, not pro-ams. Don't read what it says on there. Paddy's done them wrong. So these are the pro-ams. These are the pro-ams, not the pros. So these are driving the GT4s, the slightly slower, less aero versions of the same car. So Obi-Wan's 107 points, leading the championship. Mocking Week's 84 points, second place. Rob is in third with 68 points. Don is fourth with 50 points. Manny is fifth with 43 points. Marshall is sixth with 29 points. And no points on the board for Dizzy Diz, unfortunately. Right, let's get rid of that and chuck this one up. So, team-wise, the Cunny Funts are leading the race up front with just tonight's race to go. 168 points on board for them. Second place is MPCs with 163 points. Team Miyagi is third with 133 points. Steptoe and Kun is on 107 points in fourth. Contendo is in fifth with 78 points. Yorkshire Teabaggers 67 points in sixth, and Dizzy Got Murked 56 points. So that is a full championship standing so far. And again, the pros and the prams are the wrong way around, but it doesn't really matter. Final round tonight then. 50 minutes here at Le Mans. T-shirts and stickers still available, people. Hit me up, dartsmoker@googlemail.com if you want any of those. Right, let's get ourselves in. I'm not even sure they're out on track yet. Who have we got in the room? We've got Obi-Wan, Raffo, Marshall, Tyre Slayer, Apache, Mocking Weeks. We've got Rob S. We've got Ricky J, Pilgrim, and the Dodger. Are we missing a few drivers tonight? Only 10 drivers on track. Looks like qualifying is just about to start. What do I need to do? I need to turn the sound on. There we go. Before we jump into this qualifying session. As you can see, it's absolutely tipping it down here at Le Mans. Should make it even more fun. Right, so the go has just been given. Qualifying underway then. Oh, absolutely chucking it down here. Ricky J getting it all wrong through there sideways. Oh, everybody getting it wrong through there. Again, tricky wet conditions here today. It's going to make it fun. Well, oh, also looks like reset themselves back into the lobby, into the pits, and now I think qualifying gets underway. we're still waiting for a driver or two. Ricky J's in the house. Manny had left and came back. 11 drivers in the room then. 11 racers on track. Do a lap with Mocking Weeks. And long laps here at Le Mans as well. So they're not going to get many in this qualifying session. Through the first chicane then. Under the Dunlop Bridge. Through the S's. We are with chicanes tonight. The chicanes are in place on the long straight, so keep your eye out for those. Easy place to get it wrong, easy place to go for an overtake as well if you can get the toe out of these corners. Tricky corner coming up, just got to catch that apex, don't want to run it too wide on the left there. Now onto this start finish straight. Well, the weather's changed then, so practice session was obviously tipping it down, qualifying nice and dry. Nobody really out on track anywhere near Mocking Weeks at the minute. So fires himself along this great big Moulin straight down towards the first chicanes. It's going to go right and then left back onto this same straight. Absolutely full tilt. 156 on the clock as he hits the brakes. Just flicked over to 157. Got to be so careful here. That white line, all 4 tyres over that white line is a penalty. Not so much now, not now you're on the straight, but around those chicanes, yeah. You'll get yourself a penalty if you drive all 4 wheels across there. Back onto this straight then, up towards the next chicane. This one going left-right instead. More of a bus stop than it is a chicane. Not quite up to full tilt before he hits this one. GT4 version of the Porsche we're on board with here with Mocking Weeks. GT3 Porsche, a little bit faster, a little bit more aero. Final part of this Moulin straight. There goes the GT4 McLaren, firing its way past. Obviously carrying that extra power and extra downforce, just able to carry the corner speeds a little bit quicker. Hard on the brakes then. This is where we saw Ricky J sling himself off in the wet. A little bit easier in the drive. Through there then down towards along this little straight. I forget what this one's called. I have got a track map for this somewhere. There it is. That's the Mulsanne straight, not the Moulin straight. I was close. Down towards Indianapolis then. Tricky corner. I've had a fair few incidents on this one myself. It's quite easy to get this. You're not used to this circuit. It's quite easy to get this one mistaken for one of the other corners. And you think it goes right at the end there. It doesn't. It goes left. So you set yourself up on the wrong side of the corner as you come round. And find yourself completely in the wrong place. And in a wall or the gravel or something. Through on Nage then. Down towards Porsche curve, New Maison Blanche. So you can see nice long straights again if you can get yourself set up in the right position. Go for the overtakes down here. So we have got the GT3 version of this Porsche coming up behind Mocking Weeks. There he is. Maison Blanche then again, nice tight right hander here, easy to just, the car just wants to push itself out on all of these corners. Mocking Weeks just staying out of the way, letting the GT3s come past a lot faster. Doesn't want to get in their way. We are still only on an out lap, so it's not too much drama, but doesn't want to get in their way just before the last couple of corners. Slow them down possibly before this start finish straight. So through these chicanes at the end then, back onto this start finish straight. And there you go, there's a lap on board with Mocking Weeks. 4 minutes 25 for an out lap. So now we start the hot laps. Dodger in the GT3 Porsche. Let's have a quick look around that compared to the GT. Look at the wing on it, look. Wider arches, great big wing on it. aero all over the front, splitters and canards and you name it, it's got them. We can jump back to Mocking Weeks' little Porsche. Look, it's got a teeny baby little spoiler on there. Not that that's baby compared to anything that it comes with standard. Very small splitter on the front, less aero, no wide arches on the back. So that's the kind of difference you get between the GT3s and the GT4s. Team Steptoe and Kun, great picture of baggy snails on the side. Founder of the P1 stables, the P1 race community, Baggy Snails. Miss you, Steve. Just coming through the first chicane zone, Manny. In the GT4 version of the Nissan Skyline. No Sylvia this week, Manny. Decided to go for the GT4 version. Marshall in the GT4 Mustang as well. So a GT3 and a GT4, one of each in each team. Balanced they've got it, but doesn't seem too bad at the minute. There is the GT4 McLaren. Rob S in another GT4 McLaren. Apache in the GT3 Porsche. Big old monster. There is the GT3 Mustang. Mercedes. Missed a teammate this season. I suppose I think he was meant to have Dizzy driving with him, but I don't think he's been able to make many of the races this season. Been all on his own pretty much, Pilgrim. GT3 Mercedes. Lovely car to drive, that is. Own on this qualifying session as well, Pilgrim, right around the other side of the circuit on this straight. Everybody else coming towards the start finish line again, so this will be the start of the hot laps then. They're already on the hot laps, but we'll see the times coming in. 3:58, 3:59, 4 minutes then as he comes around this last chicane for Raffo. Towards the line, it's going to be 4:07.7 for Raffo. That sticks him on pole until anybody else comes across the line. Tyre Slayer, for instance, just comes over with a 4:05.2, 2 seconds quicker than, 2.5 seconds quicker than Raffo. One last chance to get these laps in as well. It's only a 10-minute qualifying session. Raffo then sitting in second position on the grid. Dodger third at the minute. Weeks fourth in the GT4 Porsche. So some good going. He's just being pushed down now. The GT3 is coming through. So it is till Tyre Slayer on top, Raffo second. Apache's just come through to steal third position. Dodger gets pushed down into fourth. Mocking Weeks stays fifth. Rob S, who doesn't stay fifth, who's just chucked himself in. Ricky J's thrown himself in second. 4:06.9 for Ricky J in the Mustang. He'll be very happy with that. 1.5 behind Tyre Slayer. Second ahead of Raffo time-wise. So Apache fourth, Dodger fifth, Mocking in sixth, Rob S seventh. We have got to still wait for who we're waiting for. Pilgrim to cross the line in the last of the GT3, so that'll upset the order when he comes through, unless he sticks it in a wall somewhere. 7th for Rob currently then. Marshall in 8th in the Mustang. Obi-Wan 9th in the McLaren. 10th for Manny in the Nissan. And again, we just wait for Pilgrim to finish his lap and see where he slots himself into this order. Up at the minute, almost by a second. Couple of corners to go for Pilgrim then. Keeps it nice and tidy through there. Don't want to throw this lap away right at the end. Could be on for a provisional pole here, Pilgrim, if he gets this one right. Last chicane to go then. Puts the hammer down. What's it going to be then? 403, 404 to 405. Oh, it's not quite quick enough to take pole, but it's second position. Only a 10th behind Tyre Slayer. These guys are still out on track. That's it. Pilgrim's qualifying session done then, over that 10-minute marker, so he doesn't get to finish these laps. Everybody else does though. So who was out front? Was it Raffo? Yes, it was. He will be the first man to cross the line. See whether he can better that time, move up the field a little bit. Tyre Slayer just behind him. Through the Porsche curve then for Raffo. He's up as well, Raffo. 0.7 of a second. Let's see if he can move up the field with that. Ooh, let's have a look. A few corners to go for Raffo. It was purple. Just these last chicanes to go then. Raffo then up towards the line. What's it going to be for Raffo? It is faster by 0.4 of a second. 404.7 for him. Tyre Slayer then. He comes up to, takes it back off him by 1.1 seconds. So gets a 403.5 in. That's a stomping time by Tyre Slayer. Raffo's second then. Pilgrim's already finished. Might be other drivers before Ricky J. Oh, he ran himself off circuit then. Has he got away with it? Yeah, he's picked himself up a penalty. Oh, it doesn't look like we're getting to finish that qualifying session either. So, we don't get to see all the hot laps. Lucky for those guys. Lucky for Tyre Slayer, really. If the qualifying session had closed off a little bit earlier, it still would be Raffo on pole. But it's not. It is Tyre Slayer. He managed to pull it back right at the end. Mocking Weeks then giving the go-ahead. The race is about to start. Let me in. Let me in. Right, here we go then. 50 minutes here at Le Mans. GT3s and GT4s on circuit. The Multi-Class League finals about to get underway. The lights go on. We wait for these to drop and the drivers to get away off the line. Oh, it's not a great start from is that Dodger? He falls to the back of the field in the GT3 Porsche. Pilgrim and Tyre Slayer battling it out for the lead though, up towards turn one. Oh, it is going to be Pilgrim that just holds on to it as Tyre Slayer got his nose up the inside. Ricky J's going for a spear move. He's gone a bit too far. Pilgrim's got the first corner wrong as well. He's put himself... Oh, Marshall's gone sideways. It's all kicking off here. Tyre Slayer back into the lead of the race then. Ricky J second, all over him at the minute. Oh, he's gone deep into that corner as well, Ricky J. What are you on, Ricky J? He's on the softs in stint one. Raffo's managed to get past with that little mistake. So into third for Raffo. Ricky J in fourth, under pressure from Apache in fifth. Onto this long straight position's going to swap and change already. Mocky Weeks then seventh now. He's just been overtaken by the GT3 version of himself. Dodger goes through into sixth, then Mocky Weeks seventh. Rob S eighth. Marshall gets a little bit wayward, picks up half a second penalty in ninth. Obi-Wan and Manny side by side looking for 10th and 11th, actually both going for 9th, trying to look for that move past Marshall. 3 wide into there, you maniacs. Oh, Marshall's gone a bit deep through there as well, he might pick up another penalty. Flip back to the front any second, just want to see if Marshall's got away with that. Looks like he has actually. So back up front, Tyre Slayer leading by almost a second in the Nissan. Pilgrim in the Mercedes keeping it right there with him, 0.8 behind him now. Bit of a gap back to third, 1.2 seconds to Raffo. And it's still kicking off for fourth. Ricky J and Apache still battling it out at the minute on this little wobble from Ricky J. He's gathered it up though. That's going to give Apache a run on him though. Side by side. Oh, the Mustang's got the legs on the Porsche. Gets himself in front just before they come into this tricky corner. Oof. Apache just have to go a little bit off line there to not take out Ricky J. That slowed him down a little bit. Then the final of the GT3s starting to pull away from the GT4s then. Great big 5-second gap back to the GT4s. Rob S leads the way. Mocking Weeks second. Obi-Wan third. Fourth for Marshall. Fifth for Manny in the GT4s. Keeping themselves bumper to bumper as they run up there. Whoa! The lead almost lost then. Pilgrim throws one up the inside. Tyre Slayer survives it just. Unfortunately, that mistake has cost Pilgrim that position. Raffo's managed to get through. Pilgrim's run himself a little bit deep through that corner as well. Ricky J and Apache not in a position to make a move on him, unfortunately. Raffo, though, closing down on Tyre Slayer. Just 0.3 of a second between them. Porsche curve then. Tyre Slayer leads. Raffo second. Pilgrim third. Ricky J fourth. Apache in fifth. Dodger sixth. As they come through there, shouldn't be long before the GT4s come through. Here they go. Starting to break up a little bit. Marshall and I think that's Manny falling off the back of these top three. Rob S, Obi-Wan and Mockin. GT4s, bumper to bumper. Mocking Weeks nearly slung one up the inside of Obi-Wan then, didn't quite work out. Manny goes wide in the background, might pick up a penalty for that. These three bumper to bumper then coming into this, finish the first lap here. Marshall just about keeping there, 1.2 seconds behind, same for Manny. He has picked himself up a penalty as well. That's a shame. Tyre Slayer up front has also grabbed himself half a second penalty. Raffo gets it backwards. He's put it in the gravel on the far side of the circuit. He's got to try and get that thing pointing in the right direction and back up to speed as well. He'll have dirty tyres. He won't be happy with that, Raffo. Long race though. Plenty of time left to try and claw his way back into it. Currently 13.5 seconds away from race leader. A bit of work to do for Raffo then. He's got to close up on Dodger first. So Tyre Slayer up front with that half a second penalty to lose. 2.8 seconds now over Pilgrim. I forget where the penalty spot is on this circuit. It's going to be in a really awkward place, isn't it? Pilgrim trying to stick with him, trying to close that gap back up. It's not working at the minute for the Mercedes driver. Ricky J still holding on to... Well, he was fourth, but with Raffo's departure, it's now third. Apache is all over the back of him. Didn't get a great exit out of there, though, Apache. Look at that. Ricky J just disappearing off down the road. What happened to Apache? He's was about 0.5 of a second behind Ricky J when they came out of that corner, maybe about 0.7. And he's now 1.4 seconds back. Fallen a long way down coming out of that chicane then. Closes up a little bit, but not enough. Still at 1.4 then. Dodger, unfortunately, 6.8 seconds down in the GT3 Porsche. Not far off the field of the GT3. Oh, there's Raffo, sorry. That's Raffo coming up behind him in the last of the GT3s. 2.6 seconds behind after his mistake in turn 1. There are the GT4s coming up behind. Rob S now with half a second penalty to lose. Obi right behind him. Obi might be able to go for a move here. He's in slipstream range. Throws himself out to the right hand side of the circuit. The two McLarens side by side then as they run down towards Mulsanne. But it is going to be Obi that gets his way through. Little slide through there for Rob S. Again, he's got to lose that penalty. Brings himself right in touching distance of Obi-Wan though. Not close enough to make a move just yet. This is quite a long straight though. Quarter of a second behind him at the minute. Halfway along this straight, could be back on for Rob S to take this position here. Again, he's got that half a second penalty to lose. He's got to think about that. Keeps himself tucked behind Obi. Coming up to the penalty line now then. Must be around this next right hand corner at the bottom of this little straight here. We'll run down towards the Porsche curve. So, Rob S possibly going to lose this position to Mocking Weeks here. So loses his penalty now. That slowed him down a little bit. Mocking Weeks coming up behind him, carrying that extra speed. Unfortunately, Rob S losing his penalty through there. It's cost him. Slots himself right in behind Mocking Weeks though. Doesn't want to lose any kind of benefit from that toe. Marshall in 10th then. Manny falling off the back of this fight. 5.3 seconds down now in the Nissan. Back up front, Tyre Slayer. He is absolutely stomping it around here. 4.4 seconds lead over Pilgrim. Pilgrim's grabbed himself half a second penalty. Ricky J is stomping up behind him. He's pulled a gap from Apache as well. That stretched up to 1.7 seconds. Oof, I thought Ricky J had him then. But Pilgrim very late on his turn in. Ricky J had fired one up the inside then, but not quite. Ricky J being slowed down a little bit. Apache's closed the gap back up to him. 1.1 seconds back. Ricky J in slipstream range of Pilgrim in front. Apache just making that one actually. Let's get ourselves on with Ricky J then as he closes up on that Porsche behind. Wants to try and break the toe from Apache. Here we go then. Around the outside he goes. Fires himself past the Mercedes. Holds that inside line. Doesn't really need to. I don't think Pilgrim's any direct threat to him. He's had to have a couple of stabs at that corner through there. He's kept himself ahead of the Mercedes. Little buffer zone between himself and the Porsche of Apache as well. Into second for Ricky J then. 5.5 seconds behind Tyre Slayer though. There he is. Just about to hit this second bus stop. Ricky J not towing anyone up this circuit. Tyre wear starting to show then. Oh, picking up a penalty though, unfortunately. That's going to cost you, Ricky J. Apache's behind, sorry, Pilgrim's behind you with a penalty as well. Apache's got away without a penalty. He's not driven himself off circuit. Looks like he's already trying to make a move on Pilgrim for that third position as well. Mercedes maybe not got the legs at the full top speed. Oh, wobble from Pilgrim. He's kept it, but that's going to give Apache a run on him. throw himself back in the slipstream for the time being. Raffo's got his way past Dodger into 5th, then Dodger's managed to pick up 1.5 seconds penalty as well. It's going to slow him down when he hits that penalty zone. Then back to the GT4, still kicking off. Mocking Weeks being pressured, sandwiched by 2 McLarens. Oof, Obi taking shortcuts there. He's got to be careful he doesn't pick up another penalty with that one. Mocking Weeks then 7th, but under threat for that 7th. Rob S right behind him. Obi-Wan right behind him. Marshall's still not out of it yet. Still only 3.5 back. It's a long way on any other circuit, but here, not so much. Rob S goes for the move then on Mocking Weeks. Mocking gives him plenty of room. They are still side by side as they run down here. Rob S just gets his way in front then. He takes that 7th off of Mocking. He has got a penalty to lose. Mocking hasn't got a penalty to lose. Ooh, a little bit of a love tap between those two. Obi-Wan gets through as well, but both of these drivers have got penalties to lose. Just don't get in Mocking Weeks' way. So both drivers lost their penalty now then. Mocking Weeks pushes his way... Oh, gone too far. Pushes his way through again. Rob S is still carrying a fair bit of speed though, but Mocking Weeks should be safe up until the finish line without any kind of dreadful mistake. Through the Porsche curves then, 7th for Mocking, 8th for Rob S. Obi-Wan 9th. Marshall closed that gap up, 2.2 seconds down now in the Mustang, and Manny unfortunately 9.5 seconds down at the back. Back up front though, Tyre Slayer still stretching that gap out, 5.7 seconds. Not as much as he thought he would. Ricky J still holding 2nd, Apache keeping it bolted right there with him. What is happening to Pilgrim? Why are you throwing yourself all over the place? Maybe not like this track, I don't know. Apache having a little look on Ricky J. So absolutely neck and neck again, but I think again the Mustang. What are we, 165, 166, I didn't see 167. I think I saw 167 on Ricky J's clock when he was doing it, but he doesn't get a good exit through there. Apache's all over the back of him then. Okay, these two working together to close the gap up on Tyre Slayer in front. You can see Apache just crashing into the back of Ricky J just to push him forward a little bit. And it is working. It's only a couple of tenths they're making, but slowly but surely they are closing that gap up on Tyre Slayer. Working together will help. Apache pushing him forward and then keeping in the tow allows him to keep that speed and carry it. Just do another one, just slam into the back of Ricky J again, but he's fallen off the back a little bit now. Out of the slipstream range at the minute of Ricky J. He is slowly falling back into the hands of Pilgrim. Pilgrim got a bit of a tow down here now. Raffo looking to close that gap up in 5th. A long way down though, 14.6 seconds. Pulled a big gap over Dodger. That stretched up to 7.3 seconds, that gap. And back up to the GT4s. Rob S leading. Mocking Weeks this time with half a second penalty he's got to lose. Obi-Wan as well with a penalty, 1.4 seconds back, no tow for him. Keeps himself out of danger of Marshall though. He's still 3.1 seconds down in 10th. Again, not out of it yet for Marshall. Manny with a penalty and 8 seconds down as well. Maybe not getting on with the Nissan Skyline here at Le Mans. Was driving the Silvia for the rest of the season, but has decided to swap to the GT4 version of the Nissan for some reason. So that is working still. These boys bump drafting each other. Apache has actually got himself into second using that tow. So they've got that gap down to about 5.1 seconds, I saw. They have just slowed down a little bit as they've hit these S's. Again, they just need to work together to try and close that gap up on Tyre Slayer. Do have to use a set of mediums and a set of softs in the race. We'll see how long they want to push a set of softs before it starts costing them. So a gap at 5.4 between race leader Tyre Slayer and Apache, who's now in second. J just 0.6 back. Pilgrim is just 0.6 back as well, with a penalty to lose though. Will we see the bump drafting come into effect again? Ricky J falling off the back a little bit of Apache. Pilgrim all over the back of him as we start lap 5. Apache managed to drop the tow. Yes, he has. 1.2 seconds. Nobody to work with him now, though. He's got to do it all himself. 5.1 seconds behind race leader. Can he bring that gap down? It isn't falling. The tyres on the Nissan not looking good at all. We've got about a third red all the way across all 4 tyres. We flick over to Apache. Oof, he's looking pretty good at the front. Very similar on wear at the back. Oof, we just watch Pilgrim running around the outside of Ricky J into the first of the chicanes. Great move. Ricky J coming back at him though. Side by side as we run up this Mulsanne straight. Ricky J actually getting himself a front. Again, I think that Mustang. I don't know what about it, but it just seems to be a lot quicker than everything else. Maybe not only a mile or so an hour faster full top end, but we've seen it been able to outstomp the Porsche. We've just watched it outstomp the Mercedes. Now is it all going to be down to tyre wear? So Apache's just keeping that at a 5.1 seconds. Not going to gain too much on those long straights, but as we hit the back third of this circuit where all the corners come in, we might see that time start to fall a little bit more. Like I say, Apache just got a little bit more grip on the front end. So the time almost below 5 seconds, 5.0. Finding a tenth on each of these corners by the looks of it, Apache. Ricky J and Pilgrim still not out of this fight either. Just 1.2 seconds back for Ricky J and just 0.8 of a second back for Pilgrim in fourth. Raffo, unfortunately, is falling further back. He's dropped another second on this top 4. Great big gap between himself and the Dodger. Another 15 seconds back to Dodger. Let's go and see what the GT4 boys are doing. Rob Esten has got himself a bit of a lead. He's got himself half a second penalty though. 1.6 second lead over Mocking Weeks. But again, he's got to drop that penalty and it's only a few corners before he does so. I don't think Mocking Weeks will get past, but it'll be right on his bumper or next to him by the time he does come through. Obi-Wan then in 9th position, 2.4 seconds off the back of Mocking. Marshall another 5 seconds down in 10th. Manny still 9 seconds down in 11th. There we go. Just as I suspected. So when we flicked over, the time was at 4.8. Apache is finding a couple of tenths here or there. Great big chunk of time just through those last couple of chicanes. That time down to 4.2 seconds now between Tyre Slayer and Apache. They have both got to stick the medium tyres on at some point as well. Oh, Apache's binned it. Apache's binned it. No, Apache. Oh, what a shame. Oh, he was starting to close up. He was starting to close up. I was going to say, you know, Porsche might be a little bit more prone to the rear end stepping out, being as the rear tyres alone are starting to wear out. I'm sure Apache's got it, and then it proves me right. What a shame. A lot of work to do. He's starting to close up on Tyre Slayer. That's giving him a great big chunk of lead now. That's 8.6 seconds between Tyre Slayer and Ricky J. Pilgrim still right behind him. Out of the slipstream range, but look at the gap back to Apache. 5.7 seconds, 15 seconds behind race leader. A long way to go, and again he was just starting to catch him up. The tyre wear on Tyre Slayer's Nissan just causing him all sorts of trouble around some of these corners. The Porsche driver doing his best to close that gap down. The mist starting to fall here then at Le Mans. Let's hope the weather stays dry. It's going to make it a little bit moister on circuit. Hopefully not too bad that they all go spinning around and throwing themselves off track. Tyre Slayer with a full 1 second penalty. So he was at 8.5 seconds, he's now at 7.3, plus a second he's got to lose. Okay, these guys won't actually get up to him or overtake him, but it'll just help them out. Keep that gap coming down, that's all they want. Nearly 23 minutes into this race, fuel looking low as well. I expect we're going to see a lot of drivers in this lap. Tyre Slayer's still got a fair chunk on actually, he might do alright for another lap. Tyres might stay different. Ricky J then 5.8 behind Tyre Slayer, 1.1 ahead of Pilgrim. Apache still 5.4 down, although the time between himself and race leader has come down 3 seconds. Apache is absolutely stomping this Porsche then. Trying to catch back up to Pilgrim and Ricky J at least before he can start trying to make a move back to get up towards Tyre Slayer, but slinging it in the bin at the halfway mark is not going to do you any favours. Raffo 35 seconds behind Apache. 2 second penalty. Who have you been upsetting, Raffo? Been throwing things at marshals. Okay, we're missing a driver. Dodger's left the room. Dodger in the GT3 Porsche, who was sitting at the back of the GT3s, has left the lobby. Top 3 in the GT4, still bumper to bumper though. Rob S. Oh, deep there for Rob. Weeks almost follows him off track. He's picked up half a second penalty as well. Penalty zone coming up after this straight, but Mocking Weeks already right behind him. Obi-Wan right behind him as well. The two McLarens both have penalties to lose. Can Mocking Weeks use that to his advantage? Get himself far enough in front that he doesn't give these two a tow. Yeah, Dodger just leaving the room now then. So around this corner they got another wobble there for Rob S. Just got to go around this right-hander. They both hit the penalty zone. Mocking Weeks will be looking for a clear run past both of them now then. There goes Mocking. Rob S loses his penalty. Obi-Wan loses his penalty. Mocking Weeks. Has he managed to get a bit of a gap? 0.5. 0.6. Is it going to be enough to break the toe before he hits the Porsche curves? Don't think it's going to be. Rob S is going to keep it right there with him. So 4 of the 5 GT3s have just come in the pits. The race leader Tyre Slayer has stopped out. Mocking Weeks also doing alright with fuel and tyres on the Porsche. See whether the GT4s decide to come in. Again, Mocking Weeks has got plenty of fuel on. Raffo just hits the pits. Oh, thought he was coming in, but he decided to stop out. Was that a little fakery? Was it a little fakery? Mocking Weeks stops out, then Obi-Wan stops out. Rob S comes in now. Oh, he had to come in. I think he had to. He didn't have the fuel to do another lap. Manny's into 9th. Marshall's put wets on. That might not have been a good idea, Marshall. It's not raining. Might be around the other side of the circuit though. Yeah, you're not going to get on too well with these tyres tonight, Marshall. Not wet enough for those by any stretch. Race leader Tyre Slayer then. 42.3 second lead on worn out softs. Almost out of fuel as well. Not stopped yet though. Medium tyres left to play with for Tyre Slayer. So the drivers who've just come out of the pits with fresh tyres. Closing up on Tyre Slayer already. The gap's going to be when Tyre Slayer comes out of the pits. He will have to come in the pits this lap, no doubt about it. He won't be able to do another lap on that fuel. Yeah, just a little bit loose at the minute, the Nissan. See when he's hard on the brakes into some of these corners. If you have to turn and brake, the car's just trying to let go and catch you out. Got to be very careful on the throttle coming out of these corners as well. Doesn't want to spin the rear end up and stick the car into the wall. And he is losing a lot of time to those drivers on those fresher tyres. The gap down to 38.2 seconds. It was 42 when they came out of the pits. So even with the medium tyres, still able to close up on the worn softs. Oh, we have got rain on circuit. We have got rain on circuit. Marshall might have actually played a blinder here. Very close to the pits now for Tyre Slayer, but you can see he's just struggling to keep that thing on circuit. The soft tyres with absolutely no grip. Oh, and there it goes. There it goes. Oh, it's not too bad of a crash. He's got a great big chunk of time, but let's see, just struggling to get the power down without the rears spinning it. Whoa, no, Tyre Slayer, come on. He's got front end damage as well. That's not going to be too bad. Into the pits he comes now then. Come on, auto drive, take over. That's what he's desperate for at the minute. Oh, locking up on the way into there as well. So careful on the throttle into the pits. Oh, Tyre Slayer. Oh, Pilgrim's backwards. Oh my god. Ricky J's backwards. Ricky J went for the wets as well. Apache went for the wets. He made the brave move. Racing softs for a Pilgrim. Raffo's on the racing softs. Mediums for Ricky J. So I don't know what that does. I don't know whether they have to put the mediums on now because it becomes a wet race. I don't know what their rules and regs are for that. Tyre Slayer only just hitting his pit box then. Apache into these last couple of chicanes with the wet tyres on as well. Plenty of fuel, still struggling to get around some of these corners though, Apache. Tyre Slayer taking on board fuel then. It gets released now. Where's it going to be in relation to Apache? It says 17 seconds, but there he is, just exiting the pits now. Did he stick the wets on? Yes, he did. So the gap down to 2.8 seconds then between Apache and Tyre Slayer. Both with a fresh set of wet tyres on. Apache's obviously had a lap to try and get used to these things. Tyre Slayer not. He's That gap is going to come down. Ricky J's back in the pits. Pilgrim's back in the pits. They're making the 2-stop. They're going for the wet tyres. Apache's had to back off the throttle while he tries to chase down Tyre Slayer. That gap's still at 1.5 seconds though. This is pretty much where Apache was, closing up on Tyre Slayer before the back end of that Porsche decided to give out. Closes up again on Tyre Slayers, less than a second, well within slipstream range, just coming into the braking zones for the first of the chicanes though. Oh, Tyre Slayer struggling in the Nissan. Apache keeping it right there with him again. Gap at just over a second. All the GT4s now piling in the pits as well. Another go for Apache. Not going to be able to close up enough on Tyre Slayer before this next bus stop. Might be able to get right on his rear bumper on the exit. Go for a move down towards the Mulsanne corner. Might be drying out a little bit on circuit. Might still be raining near the start finish line, but it looks a bit dry here. Let me just jump. Well, we've got wipers going, but I can't physically see any rain on the camera lens, so doesn't look too wet on circuit here either, so the wets might only be good for certain parts of the track. You see there's only certain sections where the tyre spray is coming off of Tyre Slayer's car. Apache again keeps himself right in touch with that Nissan. Less than a second between them now. Now, is it going to be raining at the start-finish line as they head further up this course? Apache closing up then on Tyre Slayer. He's backed off through there. Could have carried that speed through. Maybe just backing off, waiting for this next corner. Trying to pressure Tyre Slayer into a mistake maybe. Braking on the straight there for Mockin. Tyre Slayer a tiny bit of breathing room. Around Arnage then down towards the Porsche curves. Oh, it is starting to rain again. I can just see it coming down now. Gap at 0.8, so it does seem to be raining on this back half of the circuit, not so much on the front half. Wet's still working here then. Just half a second between Tyre Slayer and Apache. Can Apache make the move? He's already championship leader. Away a little bit then, tiny mistake. Oh, he's getting the corners a little bit wrong. Tyre Slayer starting to stretch that gap open again. It's up to 2 seconds. Right, let's go and see what else is happening on track. Ricky J back out the pits with a fresh set of wets on. 3-second penalty to play with, but oof, look at how far back he is in third. He's a minute behind the top two. Penalty to lose as well, that 3 seconds. Pilgrim behind him, fresh set of... Oh, he's got the inters on, actually. Let's see how they fare. He's 18.5 seconds behind Ricky J, so maybe not as good as he thought. Again, Ricky J got penalties. Oh no, he's lost his penalty. Pilgrim in fourth then. Rob S in the GT4 McLaren is in 5th position. Ahead of Raffo in the GT3 McLaren. McLaren also picking himself up a 3-second penalty. Wets for him. Wets on for Obi, sitting in 9th. Manny in 10th then also. Oh, he's still on the softs, Manny. Maniac. I'll just have to watch Manny into the next corner. He could be backwards. Tipping it down around this half of the circuit. Let's just see. Yeah, still raining at the Mulsanne, but as he hit the Mulsanne straight. Manny already on the brakes as he comes into this corner. Very very tentative through here. Oh, it's not working for him. It's not working for him at all. Manages to keep it straight, but Tyre Slayer up front in the sister car. 1.8 seconds. Oof. Apache closing up again, gets it down to 1.1 just as they hit the first of the bus stops. Tyre Slayer must not be having a first good couple of corners for Apache to be able to close up that quickly. Oof, teaming it down. Teaming it down. 1.2 seconds back again. Gets it down to a second before they hit the second of these bus stops. Oh, Apache goes wide through there. He's got to be careful. Doesn't want to be putting too much power down as you come through there, otherwise you end up picking up a penalty if you get all four wheels off and the throttles at full, stamp. It looks like he's got away with that one, but he has dropped a bit of time on Tyre Slayer. Jumped back up to 1.3 seconds due to that slight mistake. Brings it straight back down though, down to just under a second as they hit the Mulsanne. There, Ricky J then holding this third position. 37.5 minutes gone of this 50-minute race. Ricky and Pilgrim decided they were going to come in the pits and put another set of softs on, or mediums or something, and it just didn't work. The rain came down a little more heavier than I think everyone was expecting, and we were doing a little bit of ballerina work. Oh, there we go, nearly a little bit more there. A little bit of ballerina work on the circuit with these two doing some pirouettes and all sorts of other things. But look at this man, Rob S in the GT4 McLaren. That's right, GT4 McLaren. Sitting in 5th position. Marshall is in 6th. Mockingweeks is in 7th with a 1 second penalty. Obi-Wan is in 8th. What has happened to Raffo? Raffo all the way down in 9th. Oh, this is what's happened to Raffo. Getting that big beast of a McLaren sideways through these corners by the looks of it. Not able to get the no, not able to get the traction down in that thing. Oh, we just catch Manny getting it backwards twice. Not getting on well in the GT4 Nissan then. Back up front, this race still fights on. Tyre Slayer still with a lead, but only 1.2 again. Absolutely nothing in it between these two, really. I mean, Tyre Slayer's led for most of it, but Apache's been right there with him. Even after Tyre Slayer stretched a bit of a lead, Apache's always seems to have found that time and come back at him. Maybe a little mistake or two from Tyre Slayer has helped out, but a little bit dodgy through there for Apache. That allows Tyre Slayer a 2 second gap. So just over 10 minutes remaining of this 50-minute-er. Will the weather clear up? Will anyone else have to come in the pits? Slayer stretching his lead out front, 3 seconds now over the Porsche, 3.1. Is it all falling away for Apache? Can he close that gap back up in this last 10 minutes? 3 seconds. He's got to try and catch up. Again, he's been pretty rapid in that Porsche. Tyre Slayer has always just managed to find a way back out front. So 4 tenths taken off him through that corner alone. gains in certain sections and then loses a little bit in others. Tyre Slayer goes a little bit deep through there. You can see that time dropping, 1.8 seconds on the exit of the first bus stop. Can't even see Tyre Slayer, look. Follow the slight red mist, that's what you've got to do. Bus stop then. Oh, it's deep for Apache. Again, just has to be careful, sticking his throttle down all the way while he's still over that white line. A little bit wide on the exit as well. Gives Tyre Slayer that little stretch up front as well. Marshall back in the pits this lap. He's almost out of fuel, I think. Gap still at 1.5 then between Tyre Slayer and Apache, so he has brought it down 1.5 seconds. Jay got himself a second penalty, but everybody else a long way down from Tyre Slayer and Apache. Over a minute back for Ricky J. He's got 15 seconds almost over Pilgrim still. Pilgrim's still out on those inters. Rob S still holding 5th. Mokulik still holding 6th. Obi-Wan's 7th. Marshall 8th. Raffo has actually past Manny, or was he already past Manny? I think he was already past Manny, but he's a minute behind Marshall. So Raffo might end up just here then. Another half a second penalty he's picked up, struggling to get around these corners in this GT3 McLaren. Look at it. Just won't even let him go around these corners. Gets himself reset to track there as well. Really struggling to get the hammer down in this thing. Manny looks like he's parked in a lake at the minute. It could be over and done with this race. It's 4.5 second penalty, 4 minutes down from the race leaders as well. Still on here though, 6.5 minutes remaining. Tyre Slayer and Apache still just 1.5 seconds between them. Oh, Tyre Slayer gets it sideways through there, gathers it back up before he plants it in the wall, but that's going to slow him down a little bit. Say that as he gains a 10th on Apache through there. Down towards the Ford chicanes then. Tidally through there, tidally for Apache as well. Last chicane to go. Big pile of curb for Apache. And again, just loses a little bit of time on Tyre Slayer coming out of those. Gap stretches up to 2 seconds then. 5.5 minutes remaining. They will see another lap after this one. Oh, Apache almost goes deep. Right, that's Manny's problem. That's why Manny can't keep it on the track. He's just popped up in chat. I'm far too drunk for this. That'll be the reason. Gap almost stretches back up to 3 seconds. Apache trying to close it back down. 2 laps to do it. 2.5 seconds. Ricky J still third, 1 minute 31 behind race leaders, still holding almost 14 seconds over Pilgrim. The Mercedes seems to have been pretty planted this season. Maybe not tonight so much in the rain, but most of the season he's been right up there. From S then, doing well in the McLaren GT4. Mocking Weeks as well, holding on to 6th position in the GT4 Porsche. Obi-Wan with half a second penalty to lose, just coming up to lose that now. Sitting in 7th in the GT4 McLaren. Marshall 8th in the GT4 Mustang. Manny's parked up at the side of the track and Raffo has left the room because he's far too drunk. Oh, Apache's gone wide through there again. It's all falling into Tyre Slayer's hands. Gap back up to 2.5 seconds between Tyre Slayer and Apache. Drops it to 2 seconds, so he does find the time on certain parts of this circuit, Apache, but Tyre Slayer has obviously got the other parts of the circuit nailed. Three minutes left. They will cross the finish line and get another lap, these two. Tyre Slayer, how have you managed to keep your tyres in such good condition? Because Apache's starting to show a fair amount of wear, to be honest. He came in a couple of laps earlier, or maybe a lap earlier than Tyre Slayer, when it wasn't quite tipping it down like it was. Put a fair bit of wear on those prior to the rain coming down like it is. Again, Tyre Slayer just keeping that 2 seconds between himself and Apache. No slipstream for Apache to work with. Now towards these Porsche curves then. Again, the time comes down a little bit. 1.8, 1.9. Maybe a little clip of the wall there for Apache. Brings that time down a little bit, 1.6 seconds. Both drivers struggling around that corner. So I think it is only going to be these two that finish another lap. 1:10 on the clock, and Ricky J is already 1:32 behind, so it will just be these two out for this final lap to see who actually takes the win here tonight. Just 1.6 seconds as they start the final lap then. We'll jump back with Ricky J. He's got 1.5 seconds penalty to lose, but he will be the first man to cross the line and take a position here. 20 seconds ahead of Pilgrim, so could do a couple of donuts and still take the win. Don't take the third, at least. Loses his penalty. He himself heads down towards the Porsche curves then. Take it nice and easy now, Ricky J. It looks like he's doing just that. Hasn't got to go full race pace anymore. Doesn't matter if Pilgrim catches up with him a little bit. Pilgrim's actually made another mistake. Got his hazards on, not driving at full tilt, I don't think. Ricky J then, last chicanes to go. He will be the first man to cross the line. We are 30 seconds over the race time now. Last chicane to go for Ricky J. He's going to come home to take third. He'll be happy with that position, I'm sure. Ricky J then finishes the season on a bit of a high. Pilgrim, on the other hand, just coasting round. Again, he knows he's got to hurry up. Rob S is stomping his way up behind him. Just 11 seconds down. Okay, there's only the chicanes to go for Pilgrim, but if he gets these wrong, he could get overtaken by a GT4. Very calm through there. There are the headlights of Rob S, not too far behind him. Up to the line then for Pilgrim. He's going to take 4th position tonight, and then Rob S just comes around that final corner. He'll be over the moon with 5th in a GT4, that's for sure. Mocking Weeks is going to take 6th position here. Oh, he might get 6th. Don't spin it up, Mocking. That's it. So he does come up to the line then. He is going to take 6th position. Backwards for that position as well. Obi-Wan now a long way down. Marshall right behind him though. Ooh, these two having a little ding-dong right at the end. Looks like it's going to be Obi that takes it though. Both drivers going a little bit wayward across the curbs. It's not. It's going to be Marshall. Ooh, by the skin of his teeth, Obi-Wan took it. By the skin of his teeth. Marshall really pressuring him on that last corner or two. Manny's still parked up at the side of the track, and it looks good for Tyre Slayer. He's now got 3.5 seconds over Apache. Just the Porsche curves and the chicanes to go. Oof, sideways for Tyre Slayer. Gathers it up though. Again, just taking his time around some of these corners. Knows he hasn't got to go absolutely full tilt. Doesn't want to go too slow. Obviously, he doesn't want to let Apache have a stab at that first. But the time coming down nonetheless. 2.3 seconds between them. Looking good for Tyre Slayer. Just the chicanes to go then. Gap at 2 seconds. No mistakes here, Tyre Slayer. Through the first chicane comfortably. Apache right behind. Oh, we don't even get to see you two finish the lap. Alright, okay. Alright. Tyre Slayer takes the win. You're only a corner away, boys, as well. Never mind. Yes, there you go. Tyre Slayer taking the win. Again, a real good drive by Apache to... Well, he crashed and ended up sort of way off the pack, and then managed to claw it all the way back. I'm sure Ricky J, like I say, I'm sure Ricky J will be happy as Larry with the 3rd position. Let's just have a flick and look at those. So Tyre Slayer taking the win then. Apache 2nd, Ricky J 3rd, Pilgrim 4th, Rob S 5th, Mocking Week 6th, Obi-Wan 7th, Marshall in 8th. Manny 9th, Dodger in 10th, and Raffo 11th. Mocking saying it was fun in the dry. So that's it from the P1 boys and their multi-class league. That was the finals you've just watched. I'm not sure when their next Sunday league's coming, but as and when I know, I'll let you lot know. I'm back on Wednesday night at 8:30. We're back with the Team Oliver Racing GT3 League. Full 1 hour endurance this week. Oh, you dirtbags, live from Nordschleife, Nürburgring. Apparently it's going to be tipping it down with rain as well, so that will be fun. You've seen how much fun it can be in this circuit, but Nordschleife is a lot thinner, a lot trickier, very unforgiving. And then after that, I am back Friday night for the GTTCC. I forget which round that is, round 7 I think. 2 races for you guys on a Friday night, reverse grid for race 2. So that's what we've got coming up. Wednesday night 8:30 for the Team Oliver Racing. Friday night 9 o'clock for the GTTCC with MRC. That's it. And like I say, as and when I know what's happening with the P1 Sunday League, I shall let you lot know. But other than that, that's about it from me. I hope you've liked what you've watched. If you have, give it a like, comment, subscribe. You know the game, people. Most of all, tell your mates, tell your mums. My name's Dark Smoker. I'm out of here.